Hello, students. This is Professor Shalay Washington. I am just doing an update with you guys for our first week, our first chapter. I finished one of my classes early, and my next class starts in about 20 minutes in the same classroom. So I just decided to use my technology while I was in here. So remind you at the end of chapter 1, all of the information that is in chapter 1 is basically the foundation and the basics of African history. You have to understand these things before we move on in getting into the Middle Passage. The Middle Passage is the voyage that brought Africans to the Americas as slaves. So I'm going to share this with you guys right quick. So remind you guys that this map right here, the geography of Africa, I'll remind you Africa has many, many different climatic zones, which also goes into the importance of their natural resources, the people, because we're a product of our environment. We can only do what our environment allows us to do. This right here, it shows African kingdoms and trade. Because prior to the Europeans coming over into Africa and monopolizing and colonizing and colonizing, one thing is that Africa, it was full of African societies and kingdoms where they were great. They were prosperous. You talk about some of these different areas and different places. You had rulers such as Mansa Musa, who was the richest man to ever live, still to this day. His money has not touched Jeff Bezos, Donald Trump, Bill Gates, any of those. He is still the richest man who's ever lived, still to today. This right here is a picture of the Tuareg Berber camel riders. And so the Berbers, that is also a key term for chapter 1, because the Berbers, they were North African Muslims. So their significance and their importance throughout African history and world history is very significant. Another thing, prior to Islam becoming a major monotheistic religion, the only monotheistic religion that people in the world were aware of, you had Judaism, which was the religion for the Jews, and you also had Christianity. And Christianity, of course, we know what Christianity is. And after Christianity, this is when you have Prophet Muhammad, who comes about with the religion of Islam. Now, Islam takes off after he dies. But one thing about Muhammad is that Muhammad was from this area over here, Arabia, the Middle East. But one thing about it is that Africa on the East Coast has more of an Arabic influence than it did an African influence, because a lot of places on the East Coast were actually closer to Arabia than it was to other places throughout Africa. And still to this day, Africa is still a majority Islam. Those who are not Islam, they still practice their traditional West African religions and traditions. There's only one Christian state throughout the whole Africa, and it's a total different type of Christianity than what we are used to here in America. And that's Coptic Christianity for the Ethiopians. So all of those are in there. Remind you the expansion of Mali. Sundiata was the first founder of Mali, and then after that, Mansa Musa came in. And at one point in time, they did rule together, which helped Mali be very, very dominant during this time frame. Okay, this right here is a visual of the Queen of Sheba and King Solomon. And I'll actually upload an article or either a video for you guys to understand more about this story as well too. And this is the Great Mosque at Kilwa, which is, of course, a city-state on the Swahili, on the East Coast. And even when slavery did start in Africa, Kilwa was a major trading place for the other end just because of its location. This is a picture of a giraffe being brought to China from East Africa. Because one thing about it, a lot of animals are their only home is Africa. All right. This is the Great Enclosure in Great Zimbabwe. Okay, so I just wanted to show you guys that and make sure that you have a better understanding for what is required for this week. Of course, we know all of those 6 points for this week. When we go into chapter 2 next week, you guys will be good to go. Remind you, chapter 1 quiz is due Sunday at 11:59 p.m. I did say I will post a discussion, but I might just move the discussion until next week. Okay, peace and blessings, and I hope you all have a great day. Great week. Remind you, if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns for me, email me at any given time. Have a good one.